I am here today to speak about our son, Daniel Shaw. From a young age, Daniel's love for nature was clear. I recall his excitement after a school trip to North Wales in Year 6, where his teacher was amazed by his knowledge of wildlife and bird recognition. He started gardening, growing vegetables and fruit as a child. As a teenager, Daniel's passion for nurturing plants continued, despite it being seen as uncool by his peers. He often entered our village produce show under my name, and I am proud to say I won the cup for the most places across many categories thanks to him. I always thought Daniel might pursue a career in horticulture or environmental science. Instead, his caring nature led him to social care, where his kindness was deeply appreciated by colleagues and clients alike. He supported the elderly and disabled with dedication. During the COVID pandemic, he continued caring responsibilities for both people at work and in his family. He also volunteered to help elderly neighbours with their gardening and has done community gardening projects, including planting hundreds of daffodils in his local park. People who know him well know how much he cares for those daffodils. Daniel's concern for the climate crisis grew around 5 years ago, especially regarding its impact on the elderly and the vulnerable. He tried various methods to advocate for change, from leafleting with the Green Party and signing petitions to writing to MPs, donating to charities and participating in marches. He read extensively about the history and strategy of non-violent civil disobedience, and decided it was morally the right course of action. Daniel was first arrested at an Extinction Rebellion protest in 2019 and continued to participate in peaceful but disruptive protests, ultimately giving up his career as a social worker to prevent societal collapse. During his trial, the judge restricted Daniel and others from explaining their actions. They were imprisoned for defying these restrictions and for telling the truth about their motivations, and now face 4 years and 5 years in prison. Daniel and the others do not deserve to be imprisoned at all for trying to prevent the devastating effects of climate breakdown. We are proud of our son for his bravery, conscientiousness and kindness. If you'd like to help Daniel, he would want others to continue taking action to end fossil fuels to prevent mass suffering from climate collapse. He wouldn't want this attempt by the state to silence those for raising the alarm to deter others from taking action. Their imprisonment shows that non-violent civil resistance is effective, which is why those in power have overreacted. I'd like to finish by reading something Daniel said in his closing defence. Back a few years ago, when I was working for social services, before I was ever arrested, before I was ever in prison, there was a key test for me. What will people think in 20 or 30 years when we look back on this? Was what we did, what happened on the M25, trying to stop the government from destroying this society, was it really a public nuisance?